happening.
No, it just seems like you always take the wrong end of whatever the conversation is on these sports topics. Nick,
the wrong man.
My middle name is wrong. My last name is right.
It just seems like you're just always wrong about sports. That's the take.
Yeah, and you don't have the overall seasoning of myself, and I make a mistake. I was wrong. Quick, get it out there, and then get on.
And then move on. Anyway, it's going to be a great.
And listen, they need Butler to pitch well tonight.
Yes.
Pitches well tonight, then all of a sudden, Game 4 will determine the series, and so that's where we're at right now.
I'm concerned about the hometown crowd. L.A., man, everything's laid back. Bro, at 4:30, 5 o'clock, L.A. traffic, are the people going to be there? The Red Sox at Fenway Park decisive home field advantage in those first two games.
Absolutely. And if the Dodger Stadium can fit a lot more people than Fenway, but because of that, it's almost a worse home field advantage. Because Fenway's so small, feels like the fans are on top of you. You've been in a game there. Been in a game at Dodger Stadium. It's so big, it doesn't have the same type of feel. And the 5:08 first pitch in Los Angeles, you ever tried to get to Dodger Stadium? That's a real thing as well. It's a good point.
All right, should be a good one.
World Series. Get there, people. Forget work.
Forget work. Said from CC.
Do that work.
Time today. We'll get to a crazy NBA trade in the works in a minute. But first, DeAndre Hopkins making a crazy one-handed catch between the legs. Called back on offensive pass interference. What a catch.
Maybe the two best catches of DeAndre's career didn't count. There was one when I was there in Houston that happened around midfield where he caught just the tip of the football falling down. This is, I mean, I can't believe, this ball never touched the ground. He never lost control of it.
He's been one of the few guys that does a lot of these trick catches and everything. In college, it started very, very early, but it transitions over to the game. He's a guy that can do it live action.
Watch the pinball play for the Dolphins. Ball gets jarred loose from Jakeem Grant's hands. Devontae Parker waiting upfield, hauls it.
Devontae Parker has been upset that he's been a healthy scratch, he claims. Seems to be on the wrong side of the
agent's been speaking for him. Devontae Parker's been really quiet.
Right, but his agent's been very upset on his behalf. Devontae had a big game last night, one of the few Dolphins with a big game last night, but this was just lucky.
Yeah, I think he needs to get your card, fire his agent, hire the Nick Wright law firm to be able to represent him for future endeavors.
We've got some Devontaes on the staff.
And finally, Lonzo Ball worked on his shot all summer. It's starting to show. It's Nikola Jokic with a vicious step-back three.
Listen, Jokic ain't never been accused of being a great defender. Excellent offensive players, held in check a little bit last night. This was an enormous play in the game. Enormous moment in the game, big spot, and huge confidence. You don't see Lonzo with a lot of pull-up threes. A lot of spot-up threes, not a lot of pull-up threes.
I like the fact that 6'5", he created that space to be able to shoot that three.
Big NBA trade rumor going around last night. According to reports, Houston is offering Minnesota 4 future first-round picks for Jimmy Butler. The Rockets are hoping to pair Butler with Harden and Chris Paul in a win-now scenario. Nick, let me ask you, should the T-Wolves take this deal and send Butler to Houston?
To me, for Minnesota, this is a no-brainer. It would be Eric Gordon plus contract filler. My guess is Nene Hilario. My guess is the offer was Eric Gordon plus Nene, along with 4 first-round picks. That's the most you can offer. Because you're only allowed, according to the Stepien rule, which, don't worry about it, but it's just you can only trade picks every other year, and you can only trade picks up to 7 years out. So this is the maximum offer. And because of the Stepien rule, again, you can put almost no protections on these picks. So these could be high lottery picks. Like this is Daryl Morey collecting all his chips and saying, okay, the whole league's waiting until next year. The whole league's giving the Warriors this championship. We are not. We want to get better right now. And
he's also saying in that we want to get better right now, but I believe in the people that we have. I believe in my culture for the next 3 or 4 years. We're going to be pretty good. These aren't going to be top picks. That's why I'm not concerned about them being restricted or not.
Sure, but the other thing is Jimmy Butler is only under contract for this year. So he's also saying we believe we can re-sign him. And even though we can't be certain we can re-sign him, I know, listen, guys sometimes give wink and nod, yeah, we'll re-sign. But the player can always renege on that. The teams never can. If a team has a wink and nod agreement, they always have to come through on it or else they'll never get another free agent down the road. But the player can always say, you know what, screw it. Fine, Houston will hate me. I don't care. So it's risky. And when you're talking about trading 20, 20 draft pick, 20. You're talking about going all the way up until the 2025 season. Like, you don't know how good this team will be. Chris Paul will be retired by then. So it's Daryl Morey saying, we are all in.
All right, so let's just break it down. How good does he fit into this Houston team as currently constructed?
He makes them better. He gives them some of that defensive toughness. They always want three-point shooting and spacing, but he's not a guy that you have to generate a lot of offense. Butler, man, on the same team, that would be good to see. Chris Paul is everything that Jimmy Butler's been complaining about with the young stars in Minnesota.
And if you run a lineup out there of Chris Paul, James Harden, Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, and Clint Capella, what you have out there is the best defensive point guard in basketball this side of Ben Simmons and Chris Paul. One of the best wing defenders in the league in Jimmy Butler. One of the most versatile defenders in PJ Tucker. And one of the best rim protectors in Clint Capella. Harden could go back to the Harden defense from 4 years ago that was made famous in all those Vine clips, and it wouldn't matter. Like, this is we really believe we can win a championship type of offer. I don't think Minnesota can get a better offer. 4 first-round picks, the flexibility that offers you in order to, if you want to then go acquire another superstar, the ability you can make other teams trade offers if you have 4 extra first-round picks.
And if Houston's going to go with 3 superstars, that third one, that guy's got to be a defensive player, because you have to realize his defense is not going to get any better. Now, he's gotten better to where he is, but he's not going to get better defensively. So that third guy has to be a guy that has a skill set that is very similar to Jimmy Butler.
How much does this close the gap with the Warriors, though?
I got to see the Warriors with Boogie. If Boogie is healthy, then nobody can close the gap. But if there's any but with Boogie, then this team was right there with them last year. And if you upgrade Eric Gordon to Jimmy Butler, Eric Gordon, who's an offense-only player, that can create some problems. It can create some real problems. And Jimmy Butler, by the way, had all the drama this offseason. See how he came into the year? Best player on the team, 25, 5, and 4 a night. Like, he's shown up to play each and every night, playing the best, again, very small sample size, best basketball of his career. I don't know how Minnesota turns this down. 4 first-round picks. The Rockets might be regretting this 5 years from now, but they won't care if they're shining a championship ring. I think it's a bold move by Daryl.
All right, got to take a break. Coming up, how dangerous are Deshaun Watson and the Texans after their 5th straight win? That's next on First Things First.
Texans get